afford to hire you. And right now, everybody's so pinched that business is bad for everybody. And I think when you spread the wealth around, it's good for everybody.
Ayn Rand was one smart lady. She came here from Russia after the Bolshevik Revolution, whenever the communists took her family's property, and she saw there was no future left there and came here and stayed. She wrote Atlas Shrugged. Everybody ought to read it. And it is just so prophetic of what's going on right now. She wrote this back it began in the middle 40s, and it fits so well in our era of environment as religion and political correctness is oh well. Francisco d'Anconia is one of the main characters, and his family built their fortune through hard work and mining and delivering copper ore. They knew what it was all about to build their fortune rather than rely on someone to provide it for them. But there's some words here Francisco d'Anconia is saying to Dagny, one of the main character, but here's what he says. He says, "To the glory of mankind there was, for the first and only time in history, a country of money, and I have no higher, more reverent tribute to pay to America, for this means a country of reason, justice, freedom, production, and achievement. For the first time, man's mind and money were set free, and there was no fortunes by conquest, but only fortunes by work." Isn't that a great thing? "And instead of swordsmen and slaves, there appeared the real maker of wealth, the greatest wonder, the highest type of human being, the self-made man, the American industrialist." If you ask me to name the proudest distinction of Americans, I would choose, because it contains all the others, the fact that they were the people who created the phrase "to make money." No other language or nation had ever used these words before. Men had always thought of wealth as a static quantity, to be seized, begged, inherited, shared, looted, or obtained as a favor. Americans were the first to understand that wealth has to be created. The words "to make money" hold the essence of human morality. Here's the kicker. Yet these were the words for which Americans were denounced by the rotted cultures of the looters' continents. Does this sound familiar? Now the looter's credo has brought you to regard your proudest achievement as a hallmark of shame, your prosperity as guilt, your greatest men, the industrialists, as blackguards, and your magnificent factories as the product and property of muscular labor, the labor of whip-driven slaves like the pyramids of Egypt. The rotter who simpers that he sees no difference between the power of the dollar and the power of the whip ought to learn the difference on his own hide, as I think he will. Her words, not mine, but I agree. Until and unless you discover that money is the root of all good, you ask for your own destruction. When money ceases to be the tool by which men deal with one another, then men become the tools of men. Blood, whips, and guns, or dollars. Take your choice. There is no other. And your time is running out. Read it. It's for your benefit.
financial reform because we begrudge success that's fairly earned. I mean, I do think at a certain point you've made enough money